I didn't understand about a third. That was 7 years ago?
7 years ago.
Yeah, okay. So...
No, 7 years ago, no one was thinking AI was going to take over civilization.
So you can see why the FBI decided to destroy him, which it did. The people in... I mean, it's just like what has happened to Alex Jones is proof that at least some of what he's saying is true. Because why? Who is Alex Jones a threat to?
Did you see that interview with the guy from FBI was trying to hook up with that dude on a date?
CIA, yeah.
Was it CIA?
CIA.
That's right. And they were talking about how they can destroy a person.
Yeah, I think I was mentioned in there too.
Were you? Yeah.
I was. Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of things. Okay, so, yeah. Again, I don't the third dimension, I don't know anything about dimensions, okay, so I can't comment on that. But two things he said are true. One is that every civilization, every religion, the Greek myths, every single one, including Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism, has believed that there is sort of that the spirit world and humanity are like that. There's they're hybrids.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's just a fact. Genesis 6. So I don't think that's crazy at all, given that it has been the belief of civilizations that had no contact with each other.
I don't think it's crazy, and I also don't think it's crazy to consider it. I don't think we have a real map of reality.
Well, we definitely don't, and better put than I explained it. That's exactly right. We don't have a real map, and it's not crazy to consider it. And it was an entirely conventional view up until fairly recently that the spirit world, like don't use the phrase breeds with people, but that everyone thought that. Okay?
Right. And even the term spirit world is probably a loaded term.
Yeah, of course, they're all
whatever
loaded terms.
It is.
How do you say it in a
Right.
way that doesn't sound crazy? But the whole thing sounds crazy because we don't acknowledge the reality, the actual physical reality of the supernatural, and it is real. That's the first thing. The second point that's obviously true is that people, weak people, which is a synonym for bad people, come together for strength and safety. They act as one. Mm-hmm. The hive mind is specific to a certain group of people, bad people, and that good people don't tend to come together, but they're coming together now. And I just noticed this. I mean, people independently who I know or sort of know, in many cases have long despised, have come to exactly the same conclusions without talking to each other. Mm-hmm. I know that you have this experience all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't believe you think that. How did you wind up thinking that?
Right.
And not just on a specific issue like foreign policy or COVID or whatever, but like on a whole bunch of different things. They're all coming to the same conclusion, and they're coming together. And so that does suggest, a big change and a battle. I mean, it is a battle between good and evil. I'm not always convinced I'm on the good side. I've been, an instrument of evil many times in my life, and I'm ashamed of it. But,
are you talking about the Iraq War?
Yeah, the Iraq War. I've been cruel to people, probably even already on your show in ways that are unjustified. That's my instinct to do that. That's a fault, not something to brag about. It's something I'm ashamed of. So I'm not saying I'm always on the right side. I certainly have not always been on the right side. I've been on the wrong side many, many times. But that doesn't change the fact that there is good, there is evil. They are at war with each other, and we are subject to the effects of that conflict, and that we're seeing it suddenly play out in ways that are really, really obvious. There's no political explanation for the trans phenomenon. Nobody benefits. You can say, see these right-wingers be like, really, it's all about the people who make synthetic hormones. They benefit. Yeah, okay, they benefit. But it's not driving it. That's stupid. It's not about the money, actually. There's no upside. It's not helping the kids at all. If a child has anorexia, which is pretty common, actually, in this country, and the child thinks she's fat, you don't say to the child, yeah, you're fat. You don't do that. You give the child help if you can. It's hard to treat, but you try. If a child comes to you and says, I think I was born in the wrong body, the last thing you do is affirm that. It's hurting the child. Like, why would you do that? If you love the child, you wouldn't do that. It's really an exercise undertaken for the sake of destruction, for the sake of hurting someone. There's no real upside. What's another description of that? It's evil. And you see that a lot.
Yeah.
And why? Like, what is that?
What is it?
And why is it so obvious to even a completely secular person like me all of a sudden? There's a reason for that. History is moving really, really fast. We're right in the middle of it. And I probably wouldn't have chosen to be born at the time I was. I'd much rather sort of reach maturity in 1955.
Really?
Do you know?